Biblical story based on book of Jeremiah 1 verse 9. The night air in Jerusalem was still, yet heavy with unrest. The people moved about their lives, unaware that change was coming. Unavoidable, unstoppable. In a quiet place, away from the noise of the city, a young man named Jeremiah sat alone, troubled. He had heard the voice of God before, but tonight it felt closer, stronger. "Lord," Jeremiah whispered, his voice unsteady, "I am too young. I don't know how to speak. Why would you choose me?" Silence followed, but not the kind that is empty. It was the kind that carries weight, as if heaven itself was about to respond. Then suddenly, the presence of God filled the place. Jeremiah felt it before he saw anything, a deep, overwhelming awareness that he was not alone. His heart began to race. His breath became shallow. "Do not say, 'I am too young.'" The voice of the Lord spoke, firm yet not harsh. "You must go to everyone I send you to, and say whatever I command you." Jeremiah trembled. This was not what he wanted. Not because he didn't care, but because he knew what it meant. Speaking for God would bring resistance, rejection, and pain. "I cannot do this," he thought. "I'm not strong enough." Then something unexpected happened. The Lord reached out his hand. Jeremiah felt it, not physically like human touch, but deeply, undeniably real. It was as if fire and peace met at once. The hand of God touched his mouth. In that moment, everything changed. The fear that once filled him began to lose its grip. The doubt that once silenced him started to fade. It wasn't that Jeremiah suddenly became confident in himself. It was that he realized this was never about him. "Behold," the Lord said, "I have put my words in your mouth." Jeremiah's eyes widened. These are not just words. This was authority. This was responsibility. This was a calling that could not be undone. From that day forward, Jeremiah spoke, not what he felt, not what people wanted to hear, but what God commanded. He stood before kings who didn't want to listen. He warned a nation that refused to change. He carried messages that brought him sorrow instead of applause. There were days he wanted to quit, days he wished he had never been chosen. But every time he tried to hold back, the words inside him burned like fire. He could not stay silent, because when God places his word in a person, silence is no longer an option. And though people rejected him, though his path was difficult, Jeremiah fulfilled his purpose, not by his strength, but by the one who had touched his mouth. And the truth remained. God does not call the qualified. He qualifies the called.